All right, welcome to our broadcast, folks. Forgive us there. We're not seeming to be able to get through to Facebook, so forgive us. See, feedback there. Good to have all of you on the live this morning, wherever you're joining us from. Thanks for being here with us. And these are the vicissitudes of trying to do this live and in real time. You got all these challenges that you encounter. We're good to have all of you, Clive Williams and Lynette Fernandez and Leslyn Charles on the live, and Kevin and all the other folks who are joining us this morning. Great to have you. Sandra Hanover, Auntie Sandra, on the live as well. Clear Alexis Charm, the rich one. Good morning to you. All the folks joining us. Tony Franklin, good morning to you. Leslyn Charles, good morning to you. I see, let me see this name. Right? Is it some fancy names? Bad girl. Bad girl. Let me go with that. Bad girl. Evelina Whitaker, good morning, folks. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday already? Wasn't the weekend just like yesterday? Wednesday already, folks, the 26th day of March. Believe it or not, good to have all of you here with us. It's a little hot where we are. We hope the climate is cooler where you guys are, but not too cool, not too cold. Good to have you, Nigel Plas and Tony and all the other folks joining us. Great to have you on the live this morning. And, you know, just great to have you all. Don't know what's happening. Don't know what's happening with Facebook. Don't know what's happening with Facebook. If you can, share our broadcast to your Facebook page so that the folks know that we're on. Not getting through to Facebook for some whatever reason. Not getting through. But we happy that you guys are here with us. You guys make the difference, of course. Of course, of course. Good morning to all of you. How has the day started? How has the day started? Let's begin there. Do let us know. How has the day started at your end? You know, of course, as we've said, Facebook giving us a little trouble. So that's how they are started. Trump. Things happening north. And then we got some stuff happening here as well. Letterkenny, you know, some stuff happening here as well. Letterkenny, that rings a bell to anybody. You know, so folks think they own this country, you know. They got the transport. They want to tell us where we should and should not go. Right? Where we should and should not go. We having it? Are we having it, folks? Are we having it? I think not. So let us begin there, folks. Let us begin there this morning. What aileth us this morning? You know, every day is something in this country. If it's not one thing, it's the next. Thank God you folks are here with us. Thank God you wonderful folks are here with us. Going to have you all on the live this morning. Let's see who we got joining us. We got Rihanna Mingo is here, and Nigel Plas and Yvette and Rohan. Evelina is here too. Great to have all of you all joining us from the many, many places you all are joining us from. Especially those of you who, join us from the diaspora. That's what I'm twisting myself up for. Joining us from the diaspora. Good to have all of you guys with us this morning. I'm trying to make sure that folks know where we are. Good to have all of you here. And yeah, looks like a go. Good to have Clive with us and Rohan and Nav Joe. No, that's two names combined. Tracy Clark. Good to have you. What happened yesterday, man? What happened yesterday in Letterkenny? Again, guys, some folks think you own this country. It's not so. It's not so. This country belongs to all of us. Jolly, Nigel, Pansy, Isabella Butters. Good morning to you, Isabella. This country belongs to all of us. It's not just a selected few. So Ashwin Mohammed and team, they're on the quarantine yesterday. And could you imagine people trying to tell you where you can and cannot go in this country? Which community? Are we certain we want to go down that road? Are we absolutely certain that's the road we want to go down? Because, you know, once we get down there, it's going to be a difficult thing. Once we get down there, it's going to be a very difficult thing. I saw a very foolish report. As foolish as could be. You know, some entity calling itself Livewire. It's more like Madwire. You hear me? It's not a Livewire. It's more like Madwire. Purporting to tell folks that, oh, the folks at quarantine, they push back, saying nothing but beast. You know, Jack, you had to call. I could imagine how much it took out of him, Nigel and Mandy and Beatrice, to have to make a phone call to see y'all going up shop. Because remember, them as a big, oh, we don't have time with. He's not on our radar. Ashridin is not on our radar. I could imagine how we had to boil down to low gravy like James. Low gravy, bring himself down. I said, look, we have to do something. This thing getting more than us now. Right? Y'all getting 10-day workers and y'all. Folks, it was bacchanal. As the Trini says, purgatory, confusion powder. And Kenny yesterday on the quarantine. Because the PPP believes they own this country. They got the transport. They got the title deed. And you can't go and come. You see, for them, democracy is papers in a box. X or no X on it. That is it. According to them. Right? According to them, that is their version of it. We're not accepting that. We're not accepting that. So, folks, a little of what took place yesterday is madness. Top to bottom. Top to bottom. However you want to measure it. And it's a dangerous place. As I saw somebody say, when things come and meet you all, I hope you know who drew for his blood. Of course, this is politically we speaking now. I hope you all know who drew for his blood. Because these are the people that like to go and cry foul. And then they're going to talk about hooligans and thugs and so on. But they don't see their hooligans. They're not going to see their thugs. So we got to be careful. And Guyanese everywhere, irrespective of your political beliefs, you have a right to speak against anybody who's saying, oh, you can come in this community, you can't come in. That's not who we are at all. But see when you're scared, you see when confusion powder take you, you see when desperation take over, people do all kind of silly things. Perhaps that's why they call this the silly season. Perhaps that's why they call it so. Gloria Chester, John and Mandy, Andrew Griffith. Mandy says side to side, top to bottom. Nigel Plass, when things come for y'all, y'all don't cry foul. Don't cry foul. So what took place yesterday?
This big man, he telling the girl to slap Mr. Ramaya. Video him. That's dictatorship, brother. That is dictatorship. How you can threaten the people, threaten people's livelihood in this country because you're supporting a political party or a human being. One single person, you will lose your job. What nonsense. Do you want you come in?
I know about one Guyana. This government is not for one Guyana. It's for themselves. You can see all the 10 days workers. At our expense, they come and protest.
I'm a 10-day worker.
Then threaten the 10 days worker. Them tell the 10 days worker, then they ain't gonna scratch open the list.
Yes.
Me here down myself at the street there right now.
Oh, they're protesting are the 10-day workers.
That's right. Yes. I'm a 10-day worker on the train now.
I'm sorry for them, they're forceful.
They're forced to carry a live video.
Majority people out there want to be in here, but
Yes,
just because of the threatening.
That the 10-day workers. So I understand the situation they're in. They're forcing them to do things they don't want to do. Because whilst walking coming in, they told me, you know, quietly, Mr. Mohammed, we don't want to do this, but they're forcing us to do this.
Life is one.
If you told me I would live to see the PP so desperate in government. When have you seen people in a government protesting? This is not the opposition protesting the government. This is the government protesting other people. Take all the trillions and billions and look at them out there scraping for survival. If people believed that this government had done all these glowing things, they'll buy out James for come and try and tell us. He's now tuning in politically. Like the business isn't doing much. See, he now tuning in politically. He coming to tell us that what you all see for the last how many years? 4.5 years. It's not so. We must check what he's telling us. Not those people who out there, but their lived experience of what has transpired in this country. It's quite a state. Not desperation. When you got to marshal people. You go on Thursday, Jack Leo, and you say this man is nothing. He done so much for Guyana. You don't have to consider him a non-entity, a little boy, a small fry. But like y'all party in this, because y'all don't pass the message down that this fellow is not important. They didn't pass the message down. What desperation, Ian Williams. The PPP desperate. Now, my God, if the opposition could only come past this Cummingsburg Accord business, I only come past it. You know they done thing that Cummingsburg thing already. Done pull that together, bap, bap, bap. On with it. If we could only bring up the flank now. Flank them boys. This thing is ours, you know. This election is ours to lose. You see, the wind in our sails, but we got to pick up a little bit. Dolly Anderson says, listen to Dolly. Dolly says there's an air of melancholy surrounding the PPP. Yes. Correct is right. Correct is right. If we could only get our acts together. You got your shovel, your fork, your spade. If you could only get your acts together now. Let us get this accord up and running. If I was there, I'd done ham out in the accord already and move on. You know, I'd done ham out in the accord and gone on. But don't let me worry with that too much. That's going to solve itself. That's going to solve itself. It's going to solve itself. Worrying that. Some type of news. Is this what is the word? Portending? Foreshadowing, as we learned in literature by Sabbath News. My brother Ganesh Mai Paul, listen to me. Hold on. Before you all start commenting. Before you all start commenting, I heard Kamala Prasad Bisesa in Trinidad. Kamala says there will be leaders, there were leaders before me, and there will be leaders after me. That's important, you know. Kamala, like, she got a little wayward now, but that statement there is important. It is that we all understand our political mortality. That's what I'm getting at. There will be leaders after us, as there were leaders before us. Right? So let me start there. So I ain't why y'all saying or thinking somebody come for up Ting Norton. Our dear leader, Comrade Norton. Right? It's not about that. It's not about that. But could there be foreshadowing future events? You know, I went to university with Ganesh. So this is Musquadi. Fought him too. At university, we were in different student movements at university. Fought him, defeat them. You know, and then they came to government after my tenure at UG as student president. You know, and there were other student leaders after us. So Starbuck News here. Starbuck News here. You know, Starbuck News. This is the caricature from Starbuck News, the cartoon section. Paul Harris having a say there. You know, I want y'all start getting out. I want y'all start getting. I know you got some diehards. So I want to put things in context. Good morning, folks. Wherever you're joining us from. Again, that was Starbuck News. AC got problems. It's a little hot. If you hear a little buzzing, it's a fan trying to help it along. You hear a little buzz. So that's what's happening, folks. And we can see lots more. We're in the early days yet. Of this contest. 2025 general and regional elections. Imagine when we, as close to it as Trinidad is, April 28th. Imagine when we were as close to it as Canada, same date, April 28th. Imagine the madness. But I love it. We love it. In the US of A, folks, and the US of A, you can't just come and let out to show swear by nothing, you know. You got to prove your citizenship. Trump has signed an executive order to vote. You can't just come and then no place 2 years and vote here. You got to prove your citizenship. Prove it. We want a clean voters list. Biometrics. Security cameras. Tell the same must go. All that we want. To get credible and valid results. Prove your citizenship. Marcus Skinner, Marlon Thomas, Don Cook. Marlon said folks got to stop voting race. If you voting race politics, you're wicked. If you're voting race, you're wicked. Right. Andrew says the AFC got to do a lot of work in the 10 administrative regions in this upcoming 2025 elections. And you know the whole thing top to bottom. Top to bottom. When I was General Secretary of the Alliance for Change, I was crisscrossing this country. Crisscrossing this country. You know? We got a lot of work to do. We got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So Trump, you're just sailing in and casting a ballot here, you know. You think it's so? You think it's so? You better straighten up and fly right. So yesterday, Trump signed this executive order mandating proof of citizenship for voters. He's also restricted the counting of mail-in ballots after election day. They said this order also threatens to cut federal funding to non-compliant states. You better get yourself together. Critics, not birdnest, people critical of the policy, critics, voters' right groups inclusive, they've been arguing that this could disenfranchise millions, particularly people of color, lacking passports or citizenship documents. Now pick myself up. Pick myself up. And then this side of the Atlantic now. Sanctions, tariffs, 25% tariffs. If you all buy your oil from Venezuela, you know. Yeah. The boys are saying it's a pressure tactic. Pressure tactic. This came by way of another executive order. This is governance by executive orders that impose a 25% tariff on countries purchasing Venezuelan oil. They said this is a marked shift in U.S. sanctions enforcement. A marked shift. Of course, the analysts, they're saying that this could, this suggests that this kind of approach can be applied to other adversaries, including Russia, Iran. So a lot happening on the world stage, folks. And we're happy that we're here with you. Exciting times on every front. Could you imagine you got Trump to deal with on one side? And then you got a frightened, scared Jack Lee on the other side. Folks, I'm reminding of the African proverb, the adage that says, all the lions sensing their end are at their fiercest. Remember that? All gone through Kabar's lions sensing their end, they are at their fiercest. Fiercest. On our roadways, folks. You know, I like that under this new traffic chief, we're seeing the data almost in real time. We're seeing the data. But I hope the education and the prosecution and the other policy measures, go hand in hand so that we could bring down these numbers over time. And more than bringing down the numbers, that our roads become more safe over time. Because this is what we need. You're on pedestrian crossing in this country getting knocked up. You're in the corner, you're on the parapet, and you're not safe. You're on the parapet and you're still not safe. Guyana has the most dangerous roadways in the world. The police force, the traffic enforcement department, they recorded 4,104 traffic violations. So during an intensified road safety operation between March 16 and 22nd. Right? So major infractions included 442 cases of speeding. 442 cases of speeding. 593 violations for prohibited thin glass. 147 seatbelt offenses. 189 motorcyclists caught without helmets. You know, some of us wear the helmets for the police, not for our own safety, like the seatbelts too. But that's for our safety. You see? It's not just style and fashion. 19 drivers cited for driving under the influence. Right? Report says multiple unlit vehicles, right? Vehicles with improper modification. we got to conduct ourselves properly now. And we got what happening on our roads, happening on our waterways too. MARAD, the Maritime Authority, or the Maritime Administration Department, they said a tightening on regulations for speedboat operations along the Perica Supernan route. Look how long this was drawn to their attention. Look how long. But see, election time, everything get fixed. Everything gonna get fixed. Everything will get fixed. So the department says, this is MARAD, they're watching at the unauthorized fare increase, safety hazards, and hygiene issues. Right? What wonderful timing. What wonderful timing. And then we saw the mayor of Georgetown saying, pay up your rates and taxes. Pay up the rates. Pay up the rates. Pay up your rates and taxes. Right? We got to keep moving this thing forward. And City Hall needs the funds to execute on its business. Much like Linden. So I saw them using James. He just wake up from his business dealings and he put on a political hat. And you know, shame on the Chronicle for this reporting. Shame on the Chronicle for this reporting. Because I can't take them serious how they start this report on James, quote unquote, pushback. Right? On his pushback. Here a Chronicle says, James Bond, listen to this, popular PNCR reform figure. Like they didn't get a memo. How are you going to take them serious? First line, popular PNCR figure. How are you going to take the Chronicle serious after that? The mayor was on last evening laying out the facts. The bridge in Linden brings in a revenue that the council uses to offset expenses. Government has been very, very restrictive of the council going into other business ventures. James and Father, none of that, you know. He's saying, why wouldn't Linden leadership want the burden of the toll bridge, the toll of the bridge, be lifted off the people's back? But he's not following, you know. He's not following. He better hold a focus. He better hold a focus. Folks, here's some of what Mayor Sharma Solomon, his worship, said last evening on this bridge issue, saying at various points in his Facebook Live broadcast, we are not against the toll being lifted, but tell us how you will help us to meet this shortfall of the 70 billion. Don't take it from me. Here's what the mayor said.
This town council makes about 300, that's our budget. That is our annual budget. Our annual budget is $331 million annual. That is what we have budgeted, including that $70 million. So just think about it. almost a third of our budget is that bridge in terms of the toll. Almost a third. And that would have already been part of our annual 2025 budget of ensuring that we pay staff. So we'll come to that now. In that disruption of the removal of on the 1st, which is to take place on the 1st of August, and mind you, I'm saying this, the council have never voiced an objection, and we still have not objected to. We are saying we need to understand if this is done, how then do we deal with this shortfall that we've already budgeted for at almost a third of the budget of the council? That is what the council is saying. Because let us not forget, and I'm taking this as a conversation as I go through a few of the statements and give you an idea as to where we are with this. It was only a few weeks ago the vice president said, when the mayor of Georgetown inquired about the evaluation of property and ensuring that we go about looking at how do we do valuation of properties in this modern time. You know what the vice president said? No way will councils be able to revalue properties, which in itself is a way of creating a widened revenue base for councils in terms of seeing where we have new housing schemes, seeing where we have people doing new developments. Those are very important things because you're looking at councils, for example, Linden. We are still collecting rates and taxes from homes at the value of $1,500 and $700 and $2,000 annually, an entire year. So you cannot, for the entire year, ask me to still collect 1972 rates and then say, I cannot be able to increase my rates so that I can get to understand how to increase revenue generation. But at the same time, you're taking away a third of my revenue generation without sitting with me to say as the council and as the town of Linden, how that will be impacting my council, how that will be impacting the town, and how you, as a government, responsible enough that you would have done such, say to us how we can go about this. That was not done. So for me, I'm saying to the wider Linden, we are not against government's interests to ensure that they find disposable income in the pockets of Guyanese, Merciful Lindens. We have our own approach to that when it comes to a people-centered arrangement that allows more money to enter the pocket of the real man who needs the money. As I mentioned before, 70% of what the bridge earns doesn't come from Lindeners. It comes from people out of Linden who are moving heavy machinery, heavy-duty trucks, and all sort of minerals and all sort of resources through the town. It comes from those people. So what impact this decision had on the council? Last month, the council met and we recognized in the council, as a fifth council, we are running with 50% of our staff. So whether it's the municipality in the constabulary and all the departments, whether it's works, whether it's the daycare, whether it is the environmental, all departments, total in the council is at about 50% of our staff. So the council doesn't even have over 50% staff. The council still owes NIS to staff, to workers, as far back as maybe 2 decades. The council still owes Guyana almost $80 million. The council owes LEI and LUSCSL, more so LUSCSL, almost $100 million. These are debts that we came in, and so far, this fifth council have shown that we increase our revenue generating base. We've done that. We've increased our revenue generating base by almost 70%. We've done that. That's something that New Linden should be proud of because we have done that as a council. So what will we do with that windfall? What will we do as we increase our revenue base now? The best place to invest that is in our staff. Our staff who in 2020 to 2022 have not seen an increase. Our staff who in 2022 to 2024, they are still looking for an increase. On the 5th of February, the council, after last year increase in earnings, said we are going to honor our commitment to ensure that the most important resource in the council is managed, which would be our human resources. We invested 26% to deal with the outstanding years that we owed our staffs. We invest 26%. So their salaries went up by 7, 8, 7, and I think 6% over the period. And we decided that at the third quarter, which is this month, this week, tomorrow, we were going to review based on a consistency of cash flow to deal with 2022 to 2024. We want to invest in that 50% of staff because they're lingering just about minimum wage. Just about minimum wage. You have the secretary of the mayor. Don't make more than $65,000. You have the stipend of the councillors. Don't be more than, well, my stipend is $55,000. So I'm trying to say to people, you can forget the councillors, which is very irresponsible if you do. But let us focus on the staff, who we are investing what we have started to show good results of earnings in. We're the bridge, we're the Karakara toll booth, we're the market, we're the rates of buildings, we're even Tongue Week have shown significant increase over the past year, 2024, in terms of earnings to the council. We're going to invest it in our staff. So 5th of February, we also at that meeting not only decided we were going to increase the salaries of workers, we actually went out to balance our budget. And in balancing that budget, $72 million is part of that budget.
Yeah, you heard that, folks? You heard that? The mayor has his facts. He ain't jumping in at the tail end and commenting on things that he ain't know about. You can't pull $72 million out of thin air. You can't do it. So the mayor is simply saying, fair enough, the government sees the toll as a burden on residents of Linden and wants to move it. But tell us how you intend for us to meet the $72 million shortfall. Right. Tell us that. Tell us that. And they've been reluctant to engage the council. They have not engaged the council. They have not engaged the council for whatever reason. Whatever reason. See, they're not engaged the council. As you watch program time, education grant, they tell us it's going to be given out in May. Money, 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 money. Money. Folks, collect your money. But don't be distracted. The money is yours. Collect it. But do not be distracted. All you're hearing, don't be distracted. Good? Don't be distracted. Sunday, May. Now, I thought they'd do this a little closer to the new term. The new school term. See? May. Tis the season, folks. Tis the season. People who got a price will be bought out. People who have a price will be bought and sold. If you got a price. If you're saying, spare me from jail over these land transactions, for instance, I can be an attack dog for you. I can be a dog for you. Is Barris Hammond who sang Fool for You? One of my favorite tunes. Is it Barris? I was a fool for you. For that Barbies girl, I was a fool. Hook, line, and sinker. I can be a dog for you. I can be a dog. Them going spare no expense, you know. If you got a price, you can be bought. And if you can be bought, you can be sold. So damn lal wade in. Damn lal. Mr. Controversy himself. He weighed in. Who could go where in which village? Who likes a lot of photographs and so on? Damn lal. He said Azruddin wants to be like him. God forbid. God forbid anybody want to be a sleaze. A sleaze ball. God forbid. If you got a price, you're going to be corrupt. You're going to be corrupt. If you got some unchecked inhibitions, right? What a disgrace. What a disgrace. You know, this government been in for 4+ years. They had time to showcase Guyana. It's now that they're leaving office, suddenly they're meeting with content creators and influencers to partner with them for brand Guyana. That sounds nice on paper. Tis the season. They are so unpopular. I keep telling us, these guys, they were not built, created for the social media age. They are analog in a digital world. And so they're trying to tap in now. Money there. To social media influencers, content creators, you know, to partner with them, to brand Guyana, to tell the good news of what's happening in Guyana. Right. You see, this is a out of the Trump playbook. This is out of the U.S. election playbook. Right. It's by the Biden coverage, you know. It's by the buying coverage. We see you, Jack Dio. We see you. We see you. Right? I advise the young people the same way I advise the education grant people. Take the money. Take the money. I hope when the young people start talking the real things, they don't get vexed then. I hope when the young people start talking the real truth, they don't get vexed. We've seen this movie before. Brand Guyana, come on board with us and let's live the profile. So honest doing all this time. Huh? You got Discover Guyana. You got the Tourism Authority. You got a whole ministry. But honest doing all this time. Suddenly, you know, about to lose office, they suddenly remember Guyana. Folks, let's leave it there. We'll catch you back on the tail end. On the tail end of the day, folks, we'll catch you back. But understand what's happening, folks. Understand what's going on out there. And if you're now joining us, you didn't see our opening bacchanal. Atlanta Kenny, Bacchanal Atlanta Kenny. We'll go out with that, folks. Why are the PPP running scared? Why are they exuding fear? Why is it that they're so desperate? Why this desperation? Why? T. Mohammed, Atlanta Kenny on the quarantine yesterday. As we close, welcome back at the end and say goodbye, formally.
This big man, he telling the girl to slap Mr. Ramaya. Video him. Snake gas out me,
This is the president! This is
That's dictatorship, brother. That is dictatorship. How you can threaten up the people, threaten the people livelihood in this country because you're supporting a political party or a human being. One single person, you will lose your job. What nonsense.
Do you want your comment?
I know about one Guyana. This government is not for one Guyana. It's for themselves. You can see all the 10 days workers. At our expense, they come and protest.
Then threaten the 10 days worker. Them a tell the 10 days worker, then they ain't gonna scratch open the list.
Yes!
Me here down myself at the street there right now.
So they're protesting are the 10-day workers. I'm sorry for them, they're forced to.
Majority people out there want to be in here just because of the threatening.
That is the 10-day workers. So I understand the situation they're in. They're forcing them to do things they don't want to do. Because whilst walking coming in, they told me, quietly, Mr. Mohammed, we don't want to do this, but they're forcing us to do this.
Why are they forcing the people? We leave it there. That's not the country we should be trying to build PPP. Why the desperation? That's our time, folks. Jilly G, have a great day as well. And all you folks, thanks for joining us this morning. That's our time. That's our program. Stay safe.
Thank you.